Hello everyone. In a transmission line, the considerable part of the cost is determined by the conductor material used for the transmission line. So, economic choice of conductor size is very important. We can reduce the conductor size or area of cross section of the conductor by decreasing the current or increasing the transmission voltage. But there will be some limitations for increasing transmission voltage while considering the insulators, towers and transformers used in the system. So, there will be economic choice for the conductor size as well as the transmission voltage. First, we can see how to find the economic conductor size. So, most economical area of conductor is that for which total annual cost of transmission line is minimum. This is known as Kelvin's law. So total annual cost should be minimum. Annual cost is having two parts: annual charge on capital outlay or installation cost and annual cost of energy wasted in the conductor. First is annual cost on capital outlay. This is the capital cost for the installation of transmission line. So it depends on the cost of insulators, supports, conductor material, etc. For an overhead line, insulator cost is constant or it independent of the area of cross section of the conductor. Similarly, transmission tower, insulator cost, etc. are constant. But the conductor material, conductor required depends on the area of cross section. So total cost have two parts. One part which is constant and other part which is proportional to area of cross section of the conductor, that is P1 plus P2A. P1 and P2 are the constant and A is the area of cross section of the conductor. Then next part is annual cost of energy wasted. You know that energy wasted is proportional to copper losses or I square R losses. So it is proportional to resistance. We know that resistance R equal to rho L by A. Resistance is inversely proportional to area of the conductor. So energy wasted is inversely proportional to area of cross section. So it is equal to P3 by A. So total annual cost is P1 plus P2A plus P3 by A. So in order to minimize the total annual cost, the cost function should be, the differential of cost function should be equal to 0. So d by dA we are differentiating with respect to area of cross section, so that we will get the value of minimum cost at economic conductor size. Area of cross section should be economical. So d by dA of P1 plus P2A plus P3 by A equal to 0. P2 minus, while we are differentiating, P1 becomes 0, P2A is P2 and 1 by differential of 1 by A is minus 1 by A square. So P3 equal to P3 by A square, or we can say that P2A equal to P3 by A, or variable part of annual charge equal to cost of energy wasted. P2A is the variable part of annual charge. P1 is the constant and P2A is the variable part. So variable part of annual charge, capital charge, should be equal to annual cost of energy wasted for getting the economical area of cross section of the conductor. This is known as Kelvin's law. We can have graphical illustration of this Kelvin's law. First we can draw the annual cost of capital installation, that is P1 plus P2A. Then annual cost of energy wasted as P3 by A for different values of conductor size A. Then we will get P1 1 plus 2, that is P1 plus P2 plus P3 by A as this curve, third curve. The minimum point, we will get a point P where this cost is minimum. The corresponding area of cross section is the most economical area for the conductor. This is the graphical illustration of the Kelvin's law. But there are some limitations for Kelvin's law, because it is not easy to estimate the energy loss without knowing the actual load. We are estimating the value of energy loss, but actual load will be defined or found out only after it is actually loaded. So it will not be actual value. And also, in the assumption of the equation of capital outlay, that is P1 plus P2A, that will not be the correct value. We are taking the approximate value only. And these values, this equation cannot be used in cables where we have to consider the dielectric and sheath cost, etc. And this law does not take into account physical parameters like safe current density, mechanical strength, corona loss, etc. And also, if we are finding out the conductor size by this method, it will not be practicable to carry safe current or necessary current with this current conductor size. So these are the limitations of Kelvin's law. Now we can see economic choice of transmission voltage. As we know that for particular amount of power, as the voltage increases, current decreases. While current decreases, volume of conductor material required also decreases, and which decreases the expenditure on the conductor material. So it is possible to use highest possible transmission voltage in order to reduce the expenditure on conductor material. But while we are increasing the transmission voltage, we have to consider the cost of insulating the conductors, transformers, switch gear and other apparatus in the conductor, which increases with transmission voltage. So there should be some optimum value of transmission voltage beyond which we cannot increase the voltage. So while selecting the economic transmission voltage, we have considered that power to be transmitted is known, generation voltage, length of the transmission line, etc. are known. Then some factors which increases with transmission voltage, that is transformers, the cost of transformers increases with transmission voltage, switch gear, cost of switch gear increases with transmission voltage, cost of lightning arresters, insulation and the supports also increases with transmission voltage. But the conductor material, the cost of the conductor decreases with increase in transmission voltage. So for finding out the economic transmission voltage, we will be finding out the capital cost for different transmission voltages. So we will be plotting a curve with capital cost and transmission voltage by substituting different values of transmission voltage. And from the curve, we will get a minimum point P where we will get the transmission voltage which is most economical. But this method is not commonly used because we have to substitute each value separately and plot the curve, and there will be the curve, if you are not substituting it in for so many values, it will not be accurate. The voltage will not be accurate and the cos function also will not be accurate. So present trend is to follow some empirical formula for finding the transmission voltage. That is P equal to 5.5 root of 0.62 L plus 3P by 150, where P is the power and L is the length of the transmission line. V is the line voltage, economic voltage. So here the power and the length of the line is considered for finding the economic transmission voltage, because voltage depends on the line length and also the power to be transmitted. So So by using this equation we can find the economic transmission voltage which is to be used in a transmission system. Thank you.